What's going on, guys? This one is a different one today that I haven't done something like this for a while, but I wanted to get back into it, and it's on the mental health side of things. For those of you who've been with me for a long time, you will know that I've got OCD, known as a mental illness, obsessive compulsive disorder, and I've had it since I was 11. I'm currently 30, and so it's been a major part of my life, especially when it comes to anxiety. And that's what I want to talk about today: is anxiety and doubt and jobs. Because I've always struggled with jobs. I've had full-time jobs, I've had part-time jobs, but I've never had the passion for any of the jobs I've had enough to stay at the job I've been doing at that time. Because of that, I've suffered in terms of financially, but at the same time, I've also relieved myself of stress that most people go through in unnecessarily at times for me. I think people live above their means on the majority because they keep up with the Joneses, but because of that, they create health problems for themselves. And I've never been a person that has done that in terms of sticking a job out because you've got to pay bills or living above my means. It's never been that for me. But when you do that, you create even more traps and even more holes for yourself. I've been in and out of jobs for years. I've had full-time jobs where I've had the most money I've ever had, but I've been the miserable I've been ever in my life. But yet, people will say to you, do this job, it's more money, do some overtime, think of the money. But when you've got mental health problems, and you're suffering with depression, social anxiety, whatever it is, when people say to you, think of the money though, that's like literally stabbing you in the heart in that moment, because you're already vulnerable. You're already upset. You feel hopeless. You know what I mean? I've had a full-time job where I've been getting great money, or the most money I've had in my life that I've known. And yet I'm in the toilet having a breakdown while I'm on my shift because I don't see the hope in it. Because you can entice me with even a promotion, but because I have no passion for that job and I'm not driven by money, it doesn't interest me. Not more than my mental health does. But a lot of people will go for the money over their own health and their own mental health. And I wanted to do a video on it because a lot of people judge me. I've got 4 kids, but we're managing. They might not be able to have things that a lot of other kids have, but when they do get certain things that you might have to save up longer for to get them, they're more appreciative of it because they don't get it as much or given stuff like a lot of kids do. And what good is it being a parent that you might have a massive house, a really nice house, and you can give your kids hundreds of presents or whatever every Christmas or every birthday, but you're never there with them, you're never present with them because you're always away doing your job. What good is that at the end of the day? Your relationships are affected with your kids, with your spouse. And I'm not willing to do that. But with that comes sacrifice. With that comes struggles like financially, because you're never going to be in that big house. But let me just say something as well. That big house doesn't equal happiness. There's many, and I've spoken about it before. There's many millionaires and billionaires in the world that have committed suicide, that are no longer here. Or they are here, but they're miserable. They're in their mansions on their own. Or they're paying for friends, paying for all sorts to fill that void and that hole that they thought money was going to solve for them, but it didn't. And this is something that I struggle with a lot, because especially nowadays with social media, like I'm doing right now on a video, all we get put out to us is strive for this, strive for that, be like this celebrity, do this, do that, aim for a new car, aim for the new jewellery, aim for the new trainers, whatever it is. But that doesn't equal happiness. That's just materialism. That's just objects, items. That's not your soul. Money can't equal being content with life, being relaxed, being content enough with life, whatever amount of income you've got. Money can't do that. It may help to a certain extent, but it won't completely. And then, like I said, you strive all this time to get to the position you thought was going to make you happy, and you get there, and it's a letdown. and you're questioning why you spent all them years doing that, because now you're at the point where you wanted to get to, but there's no one there with you, because you've burnt bridges, you've cut your losses with people. Now don't get me wrong, sometimes that's healthy, but money will take over, greed will take over, because that's what money does to people. I don't know anyone that's rich, like personally, that, or even is better off than me in terms financially, that is majorly happy. And I'm not saying like money doesn't, this is what people fail to realise as well. Money, people seem to think that money prevents suicide. Money prevents cancer. Money prevents things for health. Like, when you've got a certain amount of money, you might get the best doctor or whatever, but nature will take its course anyway. We all are going to die. We all will die. So while we're here, are we just going to strive and be a slave to money over our happiness, over our health? Like I said, I get major anxiety even making phone calls or answering the phone for things like job interviews or even friends. Just that phone call, when it's ringing, the anxiety in me gets major. And anyone with mental health will relate to this. And at the moment I'm trying to look for jobs and stuff, but it's so hard because I want to push away from the phone. Sometimes I turn my phone off. I'm going to be real, I'm going to be honest. I turn my phone off at times because my anxiety gets that high of just the fear of someone calling, or the fear that I've got to call someone back. I've done it when I've had jobs before as well, getting opportunities given to me, but the anxiety takes over. I'm not comfortable with it. And I know you have to be uncomfortable being comfortable to grow, but I've done that also and ended up worse. Even though I've got what they claim as success and you're growing, my anxiety isn't saying that. My anxiety is saying the complete opposite. So, yes, you have to find a balancing act, but some of us are really going through it. And I think the pandemic's definitely increased that for a lot of people. A lot of the pandemic stuff I don't buy into anyway, but for me the pandemic's been good because I'm an introvert by nature anyway. So, but I'm an introvert, but then on top of that I've got this major anxiety, I've got this illness, and it's a real struggle with trying to get a job. You've got the pressure of people judging you because you've got kids, you don't have your own house. Like, there's a lot of judgment, but people judge like their farts don't stink, like they don't have problems and issues. Do you know what I mean? And you look at them and you're like, you can point out several things that are wrong with them, but I wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying that they look at you and put a magnifying glass on you, like if you put it back on them, you're not going to spot nothing. So the people that judge like that have to realise that they're not a bed of roses. Do you know what I mean? But I'm doing this video mainly for people that are like me, that are going through shit and struggling and feel there's no hope and stuff. Like, there's always a way to survive. But if you live this life like I do, you have to sacrifice the money. You have to sacrifice things like holidays, and you're not going to be able to do that stuff as much as someone that's doing a full-time job and being a slave to the system. Yes, they might be able to go on holidays more. They might be able to get their kids more stuff. They might have a really nice car. But they're slaving for that money to be able to live that lifestyle. But the greed takes over. They're now stuck in that mindset, and most of them won't ever get out of that. And that's something that, excuse the pun, money can't buy. And this is something that you either wake up to or you don't. And yes, you can use money and be motivated by money and be happy. That's great if that is for you, but I've never been a person that's been striving for money and been controlled and hungry by it. That's not me. So you have to be careful because, look, you've got the balance right, but for me, it's a sacrifice that you have to make, because you have to pick what type of life you're going to lead. And even I struggle with part-time work and stuff like that. So because I don't have the passion for the job for the one hand, and I'm not controlled and driven by the money, so I don't want a promotion in whatever it is. And so when you come at me with, I think of the money, you'll be getting extra money and this and that, it doesn't interest me. But I wanted to just do this video today for the people that are in a similar situation and feel like they can relate to this, and to know that you're not alone, because there's many of us out there, and I feel like we need to share this sort of thing more. So Just wanted to leave this one here for you guys today, and hopefully I'll be back soon with another one on mental health and just more transparent stuff than the usual football content as well. The football stuff will still be there, but I want to start bringing stuff like this more back to the channel, as a lot of you that have stuck around before and been here longer will know that I was doing this stuff before the football stuff. So that was it, guys. But it's a massive thing, anxiety, and we shouldn't not talk about it. We shouldn't dismiss it, because I've spoken about it before. When people have a physical disability, you get a lot more support and help than if you've got a mental health issue or a mental disability. It's like, because people can't see it, they give you the brush of there's nothing wrong with you, and we know that's not the case. So I hope this helps, guys, and I'll speak to you guys soon.